Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the energy update for the month of October for 2023. Today um, we have the beautiful full moon starting to really truly blossom. I believe the whole full energy is on the 29th. I did just recently or just yesterday release the full moon energy update as well. So that is available here on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook and you're looking at this video, then you have to come back. You have to just go in and you can subscribe and you can get all the notifications of any update that is coming out. I have a cat who's walking across in front of my screen. I'm sorry, but little Phoebe, my little rescue cat, who looked so sweet and innocent at the time of her adoption, is walking across in front of everything on the desk today. So so bear with me here, but but we do have a lot of energy that is going as we move into October. It is definitely, I do read and see a lot of comments about, what's happening, and because you can't help but not see it. And it's a lot of comments speak about it's time to stand up, to let yourself be seen. It is a time to get yourself out there. And I always say there's all those things are blended in truths. It is the energy that is about, truly standing in, that sense of moving the walls out of the way, moving the mirror out of the way, not just being in front of the mirror, but allowing ourselves to exist in the image and in the presence of the world, of people around us. That there's a lot of influencers, there's a lot of behind the screen kind of work. There's a lot of people that have, and we all do, I mean, we're all a part of the world that is being built online. But there is to be seen, to be present with each other, there is a lot more of the face to face, and to step into the world again and into the world of existing, beyond just being out there for one sole purpose. But there's just so many purposes for us, and there's so many things for us to be a part of in the world. And as we're moving forward, and as we're shifting into coming through the end of 2023, 2024 is going to be it's going to be a big year. And 2023 has been a year of a lot of endings, a lot of, seeing things come to life that has been predicted. But it's almost been like it's been a simmering pot. So we've been in like this simmering pot of energy of where things have been brewing. Things have started to break free. Things have started to break down. Things have started to begin, really taking off again. But if we do not release the things, if we do not change the things that need to be changed, we're going to be in a repeat cycle. And this is about, and so this month is a reminder. And I feel like it's like the angels, the guides are here telling us, like you're lucky enough to have free will. And so this free will choice that we have to choose is, choose the path or the way that says we're going to break free of some of those old habits. We're going to really truly set the intention to let go of the way that we've probably been doing things in our lives, and take this into a personal level and just saying, I have to really look at my own reflection and not look into anyone else's. I have to see what it is that I'm doing. I have to see what it is that I have happening within my own life. What are those fear stories? What are those things that have had a hold on me? What am I really need to kind of break free of? So it's like that chain that ties us, that bond that keeps us in the narratives and in the stories, that this is an opportunity for us to let those things be freed from us now. It's a definitely a shift and a change that is happening. So that's some of the energy we have happening. So this is where we have this kind of, not really a wake up. It's like we've already been waking up, but an ending and a beginning is not the language I want to use. I'm like, what is the language I want to use? And so it is where the beating heart of our compassionate self begins to come back in, and where we start to be able to be more consciously aware of everything, including our language, including our words, but also being able to see beyond the manipulation, to be able to see beyond the master manipulators, the puppet, the puppet string pullers, the puppeteers, right? Be able to see beyond the puppeteers. And so what we're actually cutting is the puppet strings. And so often our isms, our attachments that we have to addictive behaviors, to getting lost in our phones, those type of things are really coming to that point of just saying, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of the chatter. I'm tired. And it's a point of where, and I know we're going into a winter, we're going into fall season, but it's that reward. The most rewarding thing we can do is to be in the company of other people, and to be able to give, and to be a part of the giving, to be a part of the gratitude and the love and the blessings and the enthusiasm. So there's a sense of happiness that we are seeking to return to. And it's not temporary satisfaction, it's not false happiness or false joy, but it's what we get that really truly can't be bought in a store. It's not something that can be bought. It's not something that can be, that can be sold to us. And that sense of, being sold on, this is your next best thing. This is the best thing that you can have. The best thing that we can have is so organic and so natural to us that we have lost sight of what the natural and organic really is for us, and what really matters, and what's important. And so there's a community, a sense of come together that is taking place. And it doesn't mean that we're all going to go out and be like the best friends with everybody in the world, but we're recognizing the people that really matters, and that we matter to the people in our lives, that we matter in our communities. We matter to where we build those relationships. So a stronger sense of relationship, a stronger connection to our spirit, a stronger connection to our faith, a stronger connection to all of those things really starts to restore that sense of hope and value, and bringing that true value back into life and into this world. And, like, this is very organic and natural. She can't even act anything other than she is. She's a kitten. So she acts like a kitten, and she's doing everything that a kitten would do. She's not being a kitten who's being dressed up and being told to on a puppet string and being told to act like she's an adult, because she can't. She's simply just a little kitten. And so some of this energy that we have is like that sense of exposure, that what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening behind the closed doors is not organic. It's not true. It's like there's this illusion, and we're being captivated by this false reality on such a big thing. One time it was just to watch a movie and you knew it wasn't real, and the people and the characters weren't real. But now it's as if real life is playing out like a movie, but we believe, like, there's such an easy sell to believe it as people's truth, and it's not. And I just feel like there is just such a new journey beginning of where we start to question all of that. Like I said, this is a kitten. She's not a cat. She's not a full-grown she's not an adult cat. She's a kitten. And so I can't dress her up and force her to act like she is an adult, or act like she's something she's not. She is simply a kitten. And that's kind of where this energy is really taking us, is that our true selves and who we are may not be anything that you've tried to create. Maybe it's not anything that you kept trying to be. My screen keeps going dark today. And so there's a death, an ending of so many old things that are just playing out for us. And this isn't the world's energy. So bringing that out into ourselves. So it's like, we're not so easily sold on bullshit. And it's so easy to sell ourselves on our own stories that we tell ourselves, but it's where there is that sense of reckoning coming in. So the word reckoning is coming in, the endings are coming in, but it's where it's like, your endings can't happen if you can't put if you can't put the work into helping things come to an end within your own life. And so, where is those habits, those addictions, those behavioral patterns that we're always looking for the temporary satisfaction, but now requires a lifelong dedication, requires that sense of commitment, dedication to what really matters the most. And it's going to take work. So as we're moving forward, we're like pulling the line as we're coming to the end of the year, as an ending is happening, and there's a shift that's taking place. But it's like, what are we going to do? It's like we can call in the divine, we can ask for their help, and they're going to help us to a certain degree, but they're always going to require us to get involved too. So moving forward, it's an energy of getting involved, and that it is about us getting involved in our own lives, getting involved in having to do the things that we need to do, to not to be so involved in everyone else's life. It's like the whole world became a nosy Nora type of energy. Sorry to anyone got that name Nora, but that's just a term that I used to always hear as a child. Don't be a nosy Nora. Don't be concerned about what somebody else is doing. Look only at your own life. Look only at what you're doing yourself, and look at your own behavioral patterns. And we are being pulled into that big time, as if the divine crone energy, the grandmother energy, the elder energy says enough is enough. And so there is some shifts that are taking place that are big this month, that are just saying, you know what, okay, here's your moon. This moon shines a light. This moon is it shines a light, and it shines a light upon this area. So whatever you're feeling is not making you feel that way. You're making yourself feel that way. And why do you make yourself feel that way? And most times you make yourself feel that way because you're looking into what someone else, you're looking into the wrong reflection. And so we have that sense of being able to step up and step in to our lives and into our reality and into some new truths and into just letting ourselves be ourselves. And we will be a much more beautiful world when we are what our seeds, when we are the truth of what the seeds planted. We like a tree, an apple tree can't become a cherry tree. When we just let ourselves be that simplicity of our natural organic self, and we don't keep trying to create all of these characters and all these avatars to make ourselves into somebody we're not, because it's amazing what can hide behind an avatar. It's amazing what's hiding behind an avatar. It's amazing what hides behind a big business, a big corporation that sells you something and says that they have facts, when it's not always facts. It is what we're being sold. I highly suggest to anyone who would like to see, who really wants to see how we should question more. I believe it's called Painkillers. It's a created documentary, but it's based on true stories, but it's not all a true story. But it's based around it. I think it's called Painkillers, and it's about the oxycodone beginning, and how it was created, and the story behind it, and narrative behind it. And it just is one of those things that just is everything that I'm channeling, everything that I'm getting, it speaks of those things. It's like, okay, so you were told that this was going to be good for you. You're told this, and it's like, and the way to make money from it, the way to make money was send out these salespeople to sell it to you. And so, you're sold it as something that's going to take away your pain so you never have to feel pain again. Yet it becomes the destruction of your life, and it causes you more pain than you could have ever imagined. It brings into your life an absolute destruction while it made somebody else very rich. That's the kind of energy, but not always on a bigger scale. We do that to ourselves because nobody makes the choice but us to say yes to something, because we are so easily sold. And everything of more than existing is about, I'll share experiences, I'll share what I have, but you got to trust yourself. I'm okay with the fact that people think for themselves. It is a beautiful thing to think for yourself, and to, step into questioning, be curious, and moving forward. And as we move into 2024, it is more about curiosity. It should be more about curiosity. It isn't that it is our right to question instead of just automatically believing and accepting. I said, and this came up in the full moon reading yesterday, and it's going to come up again today. It is about, when we so easily sold on that narrative, that story, so many centuries ago about, which is not actually that far. No, it's not century. Yeah, it's like, it's not really that far away. It really isn't that far away that this happened, that there was the Salem witch hunt, that literally somebody sold the story that these women who and men who were practicing medicine work, that were doing medicine healing, that were doing natural work, whether it is indigenous, whether it was, you know, women from other cultures that knew all of this medicine and all of this work, how they were such evil people, and they had to be destroyed because they did not falling into the belief system of how one system should have such control, and that's the only way we should believe, and that if we didn't do that, we'd go to hell. There is such a narrative and such a negativity and such a fear story that has had a hold of so many people for so long. And I'm not saying don't go to church. I'm not saying don't be a Christian. I'm saying to question. I'm saying that, I mean, there's no one who is more connected to God. I channel through God constantly and consistently, and I walk with Jesus, and it's in all of my books. But I don't believe for 1 second that God would have done that to us. And because we were gifted as a human being free will that could not be taken from us. So everything is a free will choice. What are you choosing? And why are you choosing it? And why do we go against our own intuitive self? I've been living in pain for several years, and I have chosen to walk through the pain journey to recognize all of the feelings around it and what I feel while waiting for something that I know is going to be, waiting for that surgery that I know now that I need to have. But and it wasn't numbing it. It wasn't getting myself running away from everything that I needed to experience this past few years. And there was a lot of things to be learned. You have to trust you. You have to know that those things, when you're being sold that your whole world will be absolutely pain-free, you'll never have to experience again, that's not true. When you're being told that, as long as you follow this, then everything in your life will fall right into place, that's not true. Your human existence, your life, your relationships will be imperfectly perfect because they are designed to be. But you have to look at who is making the choices. What version of you is making your choices? And why are you making those choices? And what does those choices mean? And what is the outcome of that choice? Sometimes that fact that you think is going to make life easier is not that it's going to make life easier. Is that you chose, so it was going to give you a temporary satisfaction, and the price was what appeared to be easy, what appeared to be good, what appeared to be absolutely is as far away from that as could be, because it's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always be beautiful. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's never going to be that. And a huge part of that is recognizing that we are here to trust within ourselves, to restore that sense of faith and decide and to make those decisions for ourselves. And this energy is blowing in the wind in almost a roar, and it's speaking to us in such a way that is just saying it is all in front of us now. We have a new perspective. We had a wider range. It's like all of the cobwebs, all the dust have blown off. All the stories have opened up to a new perspective. We get a choice whether or not we choose to believe it. And if we believe that one is better than the other, and that this is better than that, it's like that's our choice. We choose to walk that path. But in it, we have to look at judgment. And often if we're judging and if we're looking into another and we're judging another, it is time to turn it around and look into ourselves and take a deep look into self and our stories and our connection and be very honest with ourselves. And that's a huge big, this is a huge energy of this month. And so it is not like, oh, here comes the powerhouse of the the super moon of the year. Here's the Aries full moon, and here's the shift. It means that we have love and we have war, and that we have a fine line that we get to walk. And that, do we choose to put ourselves in a personal hell, or do we choose to start walking towards creating a heaven on earth? What does that look like? how does that look? And that does not look by ridding our world of everything that gets in our way of selling the narrative and the story of there's only one way. It's time for us to rid the acronym of fear, false evidence appearing real, because false evidence appearing real is not a fact, right? There's the facts are facts that tie within us. Like, I'm a human being, I have skin, I have hair, I am right here in my inside of my house. Those things are facts. I'm wearing a purple shirt. Now, the shade of purple, the color, people may argue that shade, might get into many arguments over what color purple that is, if it's even purple to some people, right? Like, there's just things that we know, but just because it's someone's knowledge and someone's testing or somebody's experience, it doesn't mean it's still a whole truth. It means that we have the free will right, and we exist in a freedom within ourselves to question, to really truly look, is there more to this? And we will see the more on the other side of this. And this month, as we come into this thinning of the veil, as spirit world and human world just connect and blend together in such a way that, it's more obvious to people. It's always obvious to me. I speak to soul. I speak to people's souls and less to the human, and that there's just something that's happening that just says it's like the veils of illusions are falling and dropping, and it will be a long, hard fight to keep those veils of illusions up, because what happens if we question? Just think, what happens if we don't agree? What happens to us? We all know we're seeing it, but yet we become a part of contributing. Not all of us, but we either choose to contribute, or we choose to say, you know what, something about that just don't seem right to me. And now bring that inside of you. We do it within us. We do it in our own narratives. We stay doing things that we know is not helping us, not healthy for us, not working for us. And yeah, you're just going to be feeling this. I feel like it's just kind of, it's been simmering, but now the pot is going to boil over. And so where we have been, it's been simmering. Where we're going, what is happening right now is the pot is going to boil over. And it's a recognizing, and it's a reckoning day of where we have to create balance in our world, balance within us, for us to find harmony and peace within ourselves, to make peace with where we have been, and to also be in our sense of awakening and inspiring ourselves to step into our inner strength and our inner courage, that it's not easy. It's not simple. It don't always go great. You don't have everyone on your side, but that's okay. But that sense of, and this ties out into spiral dynamics, the one that has the courage to walk away from the mob and say, something about this is not right. There has to be a better way. And so that's the energy, and that's where we are. And how do we do that in how do we exist in that, and how do we become a part of that without losing a sense of a way, stepping deeper into a consciousness and a conscious awareness of our words and our thoughts, and awakening this inner, a kinder way of being in this world. And that truly is that we have to see things, and we have to not to be afraid to feel, and not to be afraid to see, and not to be afraid to speak and to acknowledge, and to have deeper conversations and communication. And if you don't like somebody, if you don't agree with them, maybe it's time to sit across from them and just hear their story and listen, and just have compassion for where they're coming from. We don't have to agree, but there's definitely that. So you sit across from the younger versions of you, listen to the younger versions of you, listen to that sense of the mind story, let it channel through you a conversation about what is needed to why we continue to do the things that we do. That's what we have for you. I'm buzzing on the inside. So I don't know where that message all comes from for you today. I'm not even dressed in my normals today. I'm in a hoodie, which you never see me in here dressed as, which is something I don't often wear, is a hoodie. But I do love this hoodie. And this is from my people. And so this hoodie came from Three Eagle Wellness, beautiful people that I know and work with. And so yeah, like, just so many things that are just returning us to, you know, turning down the heat, finding balance, opening our eyes, opening our hearts, and standing up in the middle and really truly looking around so that we can see a lot more than we may have been seeing. It is not the time to sit back and sit out of the world. This is an exciting time. There's a lot of beautiful things. There's a lot of good things happening. There's a lot of amazing things happening. And it's not the time when we should sit out. It's the time when we want to step in and step in a new way and step in and just say, you know, we can be all of who we are and still be more than enough because we have a lot of love and light within us all. And I hope this message resonates with you. I hope you stayed all the way till the end. Have a beautiful month of October. And you will be seeing me more in here, of course, with the lives and everything else. If you'd like to if you'd like to know more about my work, go to CorrieThorne.com and you can purchase the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards and my 2 books, My Truth of Existing Beyond the Reflection and More Than Existing. And so both of these books are the links to get these books are directly on the website. And these you can purchase on the website themselves. That's what I have for you. Much, much love, and I will chat with you soon. Mwah. Bye-bye.